About 4 years ago, I delved into the creative world through graphic design. Back then, I knew nothing about how anything works. Well, as they say, we all have to start somewhere, right? And if there's anything that I learned from this 4 year long journey of mine, after working and taking inspiration from multiple different artists and working with multiple different people, is I started to try out new things that I thought stood out from the rest of my art. And through this, I was able to master the art of experimentation, which happens to be my keyword for my TED Talk today. Now, you might be asking me, Pawan, what exactly is experimentation? Well, it's pretty simple. It's just trying out new things and various different techniques and just playing around and finding what you like and what you don't. Think of it as an adventure movie where you are the protagonist. You are the explorer, finding hidden treasures, undisclosed territories. But perhaps most importantly, experimentation in art is sort of liberal. It frees us from the fear of judgment and perfectionism. In a world where we are completely surrounded by people who think perfectionism is everything that you need, and it's totally not. Before I move any further, I want you to envision a world without any experimentation. And it doesn't have to be just art, it could be anything. And yeah, I'll give you a few seconds to really think about it. Now, if I had to guess, it's pretty boring, isn't it? Now, if I take a random example so that you guys understand this a little bit better, say paintings, right? We would just be stuck with the same old paintings forever and ever and ever. Now, don't get me wrong, these paintings could be great. They could be masterpieces. But you have to really think about it. What really separates this art from those of artists who are at the same level as you, or probably even better? Art is all about exploring. Think about Pablo Picasso, a well-renowned artist that we all know and love. Now, I want you to look at these two paintings that were made by Pablo Picasso. I want you to take a deep look into it and think about the first word that comes into your mind. Some of you might be thinking, well, it's so unique. Some of you might be creeped out, saying it's just weird, right? And I think that's what makes it as great as it is. If you look at these paintings, you would realize that he was never stuck to the traditional norms of painting. He always mixes things up with his wild cubist paintings, and it's almost like we are looking at the world in his perspective. Now, our experimentation in art isn't just confined to visual art. It can be applied to anything that's classified as art. I recently discovered a phenomenal music album called Lahai by an artist that goes by the name of Sampha. This album is really special to me since it completely redefined my idea of music, the art of sounds. The intricacy in the composition of these songs with various different sounds that you wouldn't usually hear from a run-of-the-mill pop songs is what makes it as great as it is. It completely challenges the traditional norms of art in general. How can you start experimenting in your art? It's pretty simple. Let me just explain. Try adding new elements to your next project. It could be anything. Just play around with it until you find what you like. And it's sort of like the most important thing that you have to understand is that failure is not an option. It's nothing to be afraid of, like Mizab said earlier. You have to take it as a stepping stone to your success. Now, I do not want to sound like an old head, but it is a fact. Now, let's celebrate artists and people who dare to be different. After all, experimentation isn't just about art. It's about life. It's about the curiosity in you. It's about taking risks. And it's about finding out what lies beyond the familiar. Thank you and stay blessed.